Hello everyone, this is the second round of the replay review for my Discord channel. So let's get into it. So the first game is by Korra and he's playing Shadow Demon. It's Archon rank. So the first thing I want to mention, it's not what you asked me about, but I think it's a very big problem for you. I like the fact that you actually contest the big camp here, but I've been watching the laning stage and you basically spend no time harassing AM. It's just you hitting the disruptor, and I think your focus should be on position 1, especially one like AM that doesn't really recover that well if he doesn't have space early on. And by letting him last hit freely right now, you're getting problems in the game that you would not have if you just harass the AM. Because there's one very important thing you need to understand as Shadow Demon versus AM. If you use Disruption on him, every time you're gonna create illusions that have mana burn, right? So every time you can threaten him to use the Disruption on him, that means you should be all over him, trying to harass him. And then he's basically unable to approach the lane then. Because if you use it once and he doesn't blink away and he just fights back, he's gonna lose all of his mana and then he's gonna be useless. I'm not a big fan of playing lineups that are, at least in the lower brackets, that are based in the mid game. Because what happens in most of those games is like you end up being outscaled in the late game, and then basically in the lower ranks it's very hard for people to play towards mid-game timing that needs to end the game, right? So if I'm Pagna in this game and I'm playing mid lane, I need to make sure I get all of the tier 1 towers in next 5 minutes. There's no other way around it. There's no other way. If you don't, that means they get too much space, and at some point you have like 0 catch, right? So you're gonna be playing the game with no catch against AM, so you're not gonna be able to catch him, right? And then Axe will catch you because, you know, he has a hero that has blink initiation, and then create space for AM and SF. And if you win this game, at this point of the game, it's not because of you. It's only because they fucked up. Because you have shit timing as a team, and your heroes basically don't do much other than Ursa. So I would count this game as a drafting issue. I don't think you can do much about this game. We're gonna watch some of this as well, I guess, but when you play heroes like Pagna, this Shadow Demon and Undying, you have like 0 control, right? So if you play, so sometimes I had combo like this. I had Undying and Pagna supports in my games, right? But that means you need very strong cores, at least one of them, especially at least one, but maybe even 2, with control, and then one real hard carry. And then you play towards mid-game timing, and perhaps you win in the late game, but that means you need a hard carry in the late game, right? And other than that, you have like no heroes that help you controlling the game right now. It's like 11 minutes, your Pagna lost the mid lane, has 30 Wrath hits, so SF has twice of that, and then she's unable to even approach mid tower. So that's just a disaster for you guys. So if you want to win this game, this basically what is happening needs to happen. So you need to be all over them right now, as you have blink on Ursa, and that's your basically the best timing you're gonna have in this game. And you need to kill them over and over and take all the towers or the objectives and close them up. If you don't close them up, the game is gonna be very hard for you, because you're playing a lineup that needs to end early right now. In games like this, the best advice I can give you is like, this is not an easy scenario for you, because obviously you don't control the draft, right? But you have only one hero that can win you the game. Only one hero, and that's it. That is Ursa. So basically everything you do in this game needs to be towards Ursa. That means your item choices, your disruption targets, right? So let's imagine, obviously if you can disrupt the AM and not get it cancelled, then go for it, right? But you can even go for the for the shard, so you can use it on Ursa, right? So he gets to go in and just like get some damage in, not having to use his ultimate. But everything that you do in this game has to be towards Ursa. So I don't think you are supposed to go for a blink after you got the Ether Lens, because that's just doubling up on the same thing, right? So I'm gonna have more cast range. With blink, yeah, you're gonna have more cast range. So with a hero like SD, in order to play the game correctly, you need to think about what makes me use my spells. So I would say in this game, it's like two things. First one is AM gets to jump in and I get to use disruption. So I basically get to get his illusions, and then he's not gonna be able to blink away because, you know, the blink has cooldown, and then I'm gonna burn all of his mana, so he's not gonna be able to blink away. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is I use disruption on a high value target like Ursa. Ursa has the Ghanems, right? Yeah, so it's not very needed. But Dawnbreaker or eventually Pagna, but I don't think so even, to save them from Axe. Or I can obviously jump in to get Axe into the prison, right? So other than that, I don't think you're supposed to be playing aggressively. The only problem with that is you're playing a lineup that doesn't really have initiation, right? So with that blink choice, you might be actually able to... I think you're supposed to close Axe here. So with Blink Dagger, maybe you will have to be the one that initiates, but hopefully that's gonna be Ursa. So your job is to get vision and then stay behind and save high value targets. So Dawnbreaker and Ursa, and hopefully get illusions of enemies so you can actually have more damage with your team. And that's Shadow Demon specific. If you have a list in your mind, it's way easier to play the game, because as a hero like a Shadow Demon, a lot of the random things will happen. But if you have this list of what I'm reacting to and what is I'm ignoring, then it's gonna be way easier to make decisions during the fights if you wanna go in and jump and save somebody or close somebody or not. Because I would say if right now this Axe jumps in and you're not able to save the Undying, it's fine. So you don't want to use disruption to save someone, but maybe use the disruption in a way that is gonna help you killing them. So using disruption only to save the Undying is not worth it, because what's gonna happen after that is like AM jumps in and just kills all of you, right? But if you can use disruption on Axe and that way get illusions of Axe and hopefully kill him, yeah, then go for it. And about your positioning, I don't think there's anything you can improve on right now. It's like you're staying way behind. Obviously that's way too behind, right? But that's your position. You need to stay like here and just be able to jump in and save your Ursa. Because at this point of the game you have an advantage, but I don't think you scale better. At this point I would say 10k, but it's more like even the game. Or maybe even in their advantage. I mean, the Radiant has an advantage because of the heroes you have and the heroes they have. Because I could agree with some facts like Ursa not getting a defensive item like BKB, or even I would say the Wind Waker would be good here, like Octarine build. But what you need to improve on and what you can improve on, right? Because we're about you here, not your team. It's like you create this list of what you want to do as a Shadow Demon, and if like any of those things doesn't happen, you just don't go in. You just don't go in, you stay behind, and that's your only job. The next game is Burrito playing Hoodwink in Guardian rank. So you start off the lane by harassing Void, who's alone, and I love it. But there's one big problem. You have good lane presence so far, but at this moment you need to play towards the left side like you are, and you need to body block the camp. Because this Void is alone. At this moment, exact moment, you're not able to impact the lane. This deny is not needed. This guy can deny yourself, right? Himself, sorry. And right now, you just left the camp untouched for no reason. Their position 5 is not there for some reason. And you basically gave them a way to reset the lane if the lane pushes. So that's a big no-no. I like the fact that you have good lane presence, but there is no need not to pull right now. This lane is in a bad position, and you know that, right? You didn't block their small camp, but their position 5 is not there. So there's no one to contest you, right? And this guy is basically, if the wave is here, let's imagine this, right? You pull the lane right now, the wave is here, and the Undying just stays here and just zones him out with farming creeps here, right? So this guy shouldn't get any last hits as of now, after the first wave, obviously, because the lane was here, right? But this he's not supposed to get. He's playing against Undying in Hoodwink, a very strong lane, and you allowing him to play the lane in this place instead of being it there, by pulling it, obviously, is a big mistake on your part. Because you're playing a hero that can dominate the lane, and you have good lane presence. And sometimes that's gonna be enough, because their position 5 won't just let you have this camp, and he will block it with his body or even the ward, right? And you're not gonna realize that in time, and then you're not gonna be able to pull. But if you have this, if you have access to this camp, just pull it, because this way you get to reset the wave into your place, right? And I love your lane presence, but it's like, it's second on priority here. If you have good lane, so you're playing 4, right? So the lane starts in the worst position for you. So if you can reset it back, that's perfect for you. And if you cannot, because position 5 won't allow you, or I don't know, you cannot really leave the lane, then yeah, have the lane presence like you do. But other than that, I think you're perfectly fine just pulling the lane right now. Because that's the thing, you play dominating lane as a Hoodwink with Undying. They have no right to have anything out of this lane, and they are the first ones that are getting the pull off. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. This lane needs to be here at this point, because this is the most important. So the lane gradients looks like this. You as position 4 start in the worst possible position, and you need to do everything to fix it back. Because your harassment here doesn't really matter that much. If it's the only thing you can do, then it's good that you harass. But if you can get the lane back here and harass here, it's way better for you. Because in the end, if the heroes are here, you can basically kill them. And in this place, it's impossible. Because they have regen, they have armor, there's a tower that you cannot dive, right? Especially early on. So your priority here should be on the pulling. So you basically block their camp, but it's less important than the fact that you have this camp available. And you get people here. And worst case scenario, they come to contest, you have the tombstone and you have the stun and slow, and then you kill them, right? This lane is a free win for you. And your Undying is farming, and that's fine. That's completely fine. But it could be way better. At 4 minutes, the lane is pulled back, and look at this Void. He's not even trying to get last hits. He's not even trying to approach this. Because he knows he cannot, right? He's like, okay, I get one last hit, I need to run the fuck out of this area. And this can happen at 2nd minute. Or even the first one, right? You gave him a space to get 12 last hits uncontested. And this is the place he is not really able to approach. So as soon as the lane is here, and it doesn't matter if it's like at 1st minute or 4th minute, this lane is impossible, this place is impossible for him to farm. Because this clip is a perfect example of what you can do in this game if you play aggressively from the start. Because your Undying has 35 last hits, 10 denies, and the Void has 27 last hits. So basically what you're doing now is fine, but the problem is you're able to play like that from the 1st minute. Yeah, this basically can happen at the 1st minute. You just like decay them, and then you just kill them. When you're level 2, it's very easy for you. So you giving space to Void and even Nyx, like Nyx is useless position 5. But later on he's gonna get levels and just get kills over you, right? Because that's how the hero works. He just needs to survive the laning stage. So in games like this, where they have a very bad lane, you cannot give them an inch. You need to play aggressive from the start and just make sure they don't get farmed. And maybe later on, when you secure the lane, you can rotate towards the mid lane and have impact there, and then your Undying gonna be very strong, right? And then, because of the fact that you secured the lane, you're gonna be able to leave him alone, like this. Like this is a perfect scenario, right? But this Void is gonna be level 4, and he's gonna have like 20 last hit tops at this point of the game. And then it's gonna be way harder for him to recover. And the next is gonna be level 3, because you block the camp and you just like killed him 3 times, right? Because I quickly watch all of the replay, and here's the thing. You have good mechanics, good idea where to move on the map. But now it's just a matter of you using your hero to the extent of what you can do as your hero. Because you know how to use your hero. You buy the Blightstone, you obviously know how to play Hoodwink, right? But now you need to learn how to use aggression on the lane, in lanes like this. Because what is gonna happen right now is like, I'm gonna show you. This Nyx is 5th. That's crazy. Void is obviously down below, right? So that's good for you. But there's not much of a difference between Void and Undying. It's supposed to be way bigger than it is right now. And you as a hero, as a Hoodwink, can make it happen. You can like be all over them and basically control all of this lane alone as a Hoodwink. Because there's no point going over to the late game right now and just pointing out your mistakes if I see something like this. Because I can see that you're not using your hero in a way that you can. Which is be very aggressive on the lane and get lots of kills. Because you're playing against double melee heroes as a Hoodwink. And that means you get easy casks, easy W's, right? So double stuns if you want. And you're not supposed to give them so much out of the laning stage, especially with Undying. You're supposed to be very aggressive, and that's how you win games, because they will be crushed in the lanes. This Nyx is gonna be level 4 at 10 minutes. The Void is gonna be crying that he has fucking useless position 5 Nyx, who's not doing anything, and that's how you win games. Because you pick the lane to control it early, and then you don't control the lane, right? So that's what you need to work about. And the last one is from Yarn, who's playing Wyvern here. It's a battle cap, and he's interested about first 20 minutes as all the lanes were lost. So the first thing I want to mention, I watched 3 minutes and I have like nothing to say so far. I don't think you made a single mistake so far. I've watched 20 minutes of this game, and it's... You know what? This is very hard for me to judge. Because I would say the biggest issue you have is your draft. Because I don't think there's anything about your play style or like your moves on the map that is straight up wrong. Like, I literally watched 20 minutes, right? But they pick Wind Ranger, so a hero that can impact the mid lane, right? And then you have the Phoenix in enemy team. Your hero doesn't really offer much. Undying doesn't really offer much other than the lane presence. And you have like no initiation in your team. You have very passive carry. That is obviously good versus Doom, right? Because that's your line of thought. I'm gonna get Medusa, I will get Doom, and I won't care. But in the end, well, I don't think you have ways. So you don't have the last pick, right? I don't think you have the ways to initiate on them. And that allows them to play towards their timings. And all it took was 1 kill on the mid lane, and the Ember is gonna snowball from this. He obviously secured the rune, right? And the Ember is gonna get fat, really fat, and he's gonna control the game. And it's not like you can secure the runes easily with your heroes. Because you have 2 passive supports that don't really rotate. And this Wind Ranger made the difference for them. By just being there and getting a kill on Storm Spirit. And Ember is 6. Your Storm is 5. You have no easy ways to kill the egg. You have no easy ways to initiate. You only have lane presence, but a lane presence that doesn't really matter. Because you don't offer much initiations. You picked Undying on the top lane. I don't like Undying as 4, by the way. Because it's a hero that doesn't really offer anything that 4 needs to have. Which is like either ability to chase people down, and he doesn't have it. Ability to dominate the lane in a way that it's... You don't have to chase people down, right? So you can As a 5, you can dominate the lane by just chasing them down with Tombstone, right? Undying doesn't offer that. So that's another bad thing. And now, what's gonna happen is this Ember is gonna get double rune. The first one and the second one. And you cannot really secure them because you have no heroes to do so, right? And then you have this egg problem. And then you pick Storm into Doom. So maybe he doesn't do Medusa, but he's gonna Doom the Storm, and Storm is gonna be useless, right? So I would say the biggest issue, so it's a battle cup, right? So I'm gonna talk about it because in the end I can talk about it as you were a team. It's not like you went to the pub game solo. So you picked a lineup that doesn't really win this game. And all you need to do in this game right now is have very strong lanes and get lots of kills. But they managed to just go through the lanes untouched. They got their baskets. It's like you have decent impact on the lane, but it doesn't really matter in the end. Because this Doom, all he cares is he's gonna get 6, Doom the Storm, and then what? And then how do you wanna win fights? Because we're at 70 minutes, right? Your Medusa is farming. That's great. But the Ember is completely dominating the map. Right? Like, all of 3 cores have decent farm. And then as a support, you don't really... So the Wyvern doesn't really offer much in this game. Maybe if you catch a target that is near the gyro, maybe you kill him. But it's like very hard. She's gonna press her E, and then she's gonna escape, right? The Phoenix, if he doesn't die, he's just gonna press the egg after that. And Doom and Ember don't really want to be near the gyrocopter ever, as they are in the front line, not the back line, right? So the biggest issue in this game is your draft. Like, you have this Venge hero as a core, right? She has 5k net worth at 19 minutes. She doesn't really farm well because the map is closed, right? And she's not even close to Aghanims. So she's not able to play the game aggressively. She's not gonna be initiating for you. The only hero that can initiate for you is Storm. But Storm is down below here. It's like awful farm. He's doubled up by Ember, right? So the biggest issue I see is the draft. I don't think you did anything wrong about your lane. Or any other lanes. It's like the Wind Ranger hero just goes to the mid lane, gets a kill at 4 minutes, secures the rune. Your mid lane is over, and then your mid lane is your only hope to have a decent game. And at 4 minutes, it's basically over. So yeah, that's it for this game, I guess. So as I said, I'm gonna do it in parts. So that was part 2. I think the next one is gonna be next week. So see you then.